Hello guys, this is going to be my series on limits and how to understanding what limits are, and I'm also going to do some problems on limits. Okay, I'm going to start by explaining what a limit is, and I think we're just going to go with the precise definition of a limit. So what is the precise definition of a limit? So that's basically this. Let f of x be defined in the open interval about x0, except that maybe x0 itself. This is important. Okay, so we care about the values about x0, but we don't necessarily care what the value is at x0. We say that the limit of f of x as x approaches x0 is L, and write limit of x approaches x0, f of x is equal to L. If for every epsilon greater than 0, there exists a delta greater than 0 for all x, such that the following hold. So x minus x0 has to be less than delta and greater than 0, and f of x minus L has to be less than epsilon. What does that mean? That means that for all values x that are found within the neighborhood of x0 minus delta and x0 plus delta, map to the neighborhood of limit minus epsilon, limit plus epsilon. So again, I state again, we don't care about the value of x at x0. We just care about what happens to x, what happens as we approach x0. Okay, so this is the next diagram. We have three functions: x plus 1 when x is not equal to 1, and 3 when x is equal to 1, g of x is equal to x plus 1, and h of x is equal to x squared minus 1 over x minus 1. Okay, so these three graphs respectively look like this. As we can see, they're all very similar. Okay, they only differ on the value of x is equal to 1. F of x is equal to 1. So for f of x, it's 3. For g of x, it's 2, and for h of x, it's not defined. Okay, but what is the limit at these 3 points? Well, we stated many times before that we only care what happens when we approach this point. Okay, x0 is 1, so we only care what happens as we approach this point. So what happens when I'm approaching, or let's start with g of x. What happens when we approach x is equal to 1? Well, here it's very easy. We could see that it's 2, right? We could see that it's 2 because the value of g of x is 2 when x is equal to 1. Okay, so what happens when for h of x? Well, for the value of h of x is also it's equal to 2, even if it's not defined there, because we don't care what the value is at the point. We only care what the value is as we get closer to the point. Okay, and as we get closer to the point, we see that we get closer to 2. So that's the limit. So now let's go back to f of x. What is the limit of f of x as x is equal to 1? This is also 2, right? Because as we get closer to the point from either side, we see that we're reaching 2. We don't care that the value is 3 at f of x for f of x when x is equal to 1. We just care what happens as we approach. So the limit for this one is also 2. Okay? So once again, the limit of a function is what happens as we get close to the point, not the actual value at the point. Okay? So that's it, guys. That's the intro to what limits are. I'm going to do more problem videos, and hopefully you'll enjoy them. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Thank you.